Alright my friends, it's Krebsy and I'm talking to you guys about some War Thunder. It's regarding patch 1.37 and how it could be improved in a matter of some changes. Now, this is going to be probably the last video that I do talking about the 1.37 patch. I'll of course make plenty more videos about War Thunder, but this is going to be the last one regarding this patch because I feel like anymore and it would be overdoing all this drama and whatnot. You know, we've gone through that drama, we know where the game is currently sitting in, and we know how it could be improved. It's a matter of that actually coming about, and if any changes are made and they are not the changes we're expecting, then of course maybe I would address that. But for now, I think we all have wish lists of what could be changed in the game and that would make it to our ideal standards. What could be changed in this patch and that would make us happy. Now, I would have an expansive list if I was supposed to focus on, you know, all the minute details and whatnot. And I know everyone has different opinions on what's right and what's wrong. Some of you agree with what I say, some of you disagree. But feel free to leave your wish list in the comment box below. I'd be intrigued to see what you guys really care about. So anyway, I have three main changes to 1.37 that would make the game an acceptable standard for me, and I would love to play it all the time, and I'd pretty much have no issues with the game. And those three ones that I selected, whether you agree with these or not, the first one is the matchmaker, and I'm sure a lot of people would bring up this one. The matchmaker, as we know, is putting different tiers with each other. It's not as bad as when the patch was first released, where you had these 3-tier gaps sometimes in matches. Now it's supposed to be plus or minus 1 tier. But the thing is, the problem with that system is that that's still too much of a gap to have, because tiers have been condensed from 20 levels, 20 tiers, ranks, down into 5. That doesn't leave a whole lot of leverage in what is acceptable in a match, because if you're doing plus or minus 1, you'll start seeing really higher level planes versus lower level ones, different year, different planes that were introduced in different years versus planes from previous years, basically. And what you have is a very unfair system of high tier planes versus lower tier planes. You know, I've mentioned it a number of times: Fokker-Wulf versus Kitty Hawks, jets versus prop planes, reserve planes versus higher tier, 20mm cannons. I mean, that sort of stuff I don't feel should be happening in the game. And I've actually come up with a little bit of a conspiracy theory. I was thinking about this one a little bit. Why could Gaijin have done that? And the only real explanation I can think of it, and I can't agree that it comes down to balance. I mean, that doesn't seem balanced at all to me. The only one real reason why I can see Gaijin doing that is because they want people to spend more money on the game. Now, how do they want more people to spend more money on the game? Well, because if you're in a low tier aircraft and you see yourself getting killed easily by high tier aircrafts, and you see that high tier aircrafts are always topping the game, the leaderboard in the game, then you'll obviously want to, well, either quit the game, complain about it, or you'll want to attain that plane. And then you'll want to rock out those high tiers against lower level people and, get to the top of the leaderboard. And so you have a bit of an envy factor. You want that high tier plane. And one really quick way of doing that is to invest money into the game, convert research points to instantly get that plane. So that's my little conspiracy, that maybe they're trying to get people to put money into researching planes and buying them. It's maybe a bit of a ploy to get money. At least that's the only way that I can explain it. But my ideal change, rather than doing this plus minus 1 system, is doing simply a plus minus 0 system. Keep everything inside the same tier. Do not have planes versus planes that are from a different era or anything like that. It comes down simply to balance. And the thing is, even if it was plus minus 0, it wouldn't end balance problems altogether, because what you see depending which tier you go for. I play a lot of mid tiers, so if I go out into tier 3, I'll see loads of Focke-Wulfs, loads of German planes, and those will usually top the leaderboards. And I have a feeling it's because they are just so damn powerful. So although you might have a plus minus 0 tier system, it doesn't mean that the balance is completely fixed. However, it's a step in the right direction, and that actually brings on to case point number 2. The damage model currently is too sensitive, and as I was saying about the German planes rocking out at tier 3, for example, because of how many gun pods they have on the Bf-109s, the Focke-Wulfs, they are decimating planes. But it's not only the Germans, I'm just speaking in generally with all planes as well. It seems like planes die very, very quickly now, and it feels hypersensitive. A lot of times you can end up killing planes before they take critical damage. For example, elevators going out, flaps being taken off, damage, critical damage to wings. It almost feels like, and this is speaking in arcade, it feels like planes are just dying before that sort of stuff happens. It doesn't feel like you're chasing down planes, doing a lot of damage to them before they go down. It feels like it's almost, you look at them, especially when you're using a Focke-Wulf or a Bf-109, you look at the plane, you click your mouse, and within a fraction of a second, they're dead. And what I've noticed is that a lot of people who aren't necessarily quote-unquote skilled at the game are getting loads of kills just because it's point click, they're dead, and it's easy mode when you're using Bf-109s, Focke-Wulfs, whatever it is, because all it takes is just a few shots. It's not even having to dogfight, having to earn your kill, or even having a chance to defend yourself if you're being shot at, you know, to try and turn it around on the enemy who's tailing after you. It's just a matter of, you know, if somebody's behind you or at your side and they have a shot on you, they shoot at you, you're dead. That's sort of what it's like. So the damage model, in my opinion, is too sensitive. We actually seen this in previous patches. I think it was in the last patch, maybe it was 1.33 or 1.31. But there was a problem right at the beginning of the patch where, again, the damage models were way too sensitive. And people complained about it, and Gaijin admitted there was a problem with the damage models. They quickly fixed it within a few days, and then everything was fine. No complaints. War Thunder was just fine from then on in. So that would be one change big change that I would go around getting fixed. Fixing the sensitive damage models, making it drag out longer to kill people. And speaking of dragging out longer to kill people, that brings case number 3, point number 3. Game tickets. We need more game tickets in arcade battles. And the reason I say that is because of the new patch 1.37, all maps have, especially ground strike maps, have air bases on them. Now, air bases in particular don't add up to the majority of points on or tickets on a map. For example, destroying one air base is only 10% of tickets, and you have 3 air bases, so in total per match that's 30% of your tickets. However, the problem I have is that these air bases are destroyed too quickly, far too quickly. People go out into bombers. I've heard you get some really good rewards from going for these air bases as well, more so than ground targets. So people will go out on their bombers, go specifically for these air bases, and that'll be 30% gone instantly within a matter of minutes. And then it's just killing ground targets. So you've got fighters, attackers, bombers all going for ground targets, and the game is over within 5-6 minutes. I don't feel that that's very fun, because that's on average 5 or 6 minutes. Sometimes you do have games that last longer, usually those are dominations, but at the same time you can have games that last even 2-3 minutes, depending how many bombers are on the enemy team. And I don't find that too fun because, fair enough, it makes matches quicker, and if you don't have a lot of time, then that could be convenient. But since we're all accustomed to having these longer drawn out games, you know, 10-15 minutes, that's what we're more used to. And coming from the perspective of what's more enjoyable, I would personally prefer to have a 10-15 minute game rather than something that ends within a few minutes, because it feels like you only just get out, you maybe die once or twice, and then the game is over. It almost makes it feel like, if you especially have multiple slots in arcade, even, you know, especially when you go to the higher examples, like for myself, having 10 slots in arcade, it feels almost pointless to have so many if the game doesn't even drag out that long, if it's only lasting a few minutes. But also from the perspective of somebody who is competitive in a game trying to improve stats, it's difficult to improve stats if the games are ending so shortly due to games ending from too quick bombing. So my solution to this would be to either increase the health of the air bases so that they're not destroyed as easily, because bombers can make very quick passes. They just go directly dive bomb into the air base. They might end up getting destroyed after taking it out, but you know, it's just usually one run takes out the entire air base. So I either give the air base more health points, and I mean substantially, like 3 times, 4 times more health points, or add more tickets to the game, so that games just don't end as quickly. So you'd have to destroy all the air bases and kill multiple ground targets, like a vast majority or something like that. And I think that would make most sense. I find it a lot more enjoyable. So anyway, this video actually dragged on a bit more than I anticipated. Those are the 3 main changes that I would make a big difference for my enjoyability in this patch. And I know people have different opinions. I mean, some people are probably thinking, Krebs, what? You haven't said anything about the leveling system? You haven't said anything about how long it takes to research planes? Well, to be honest with you guys, I know I've unlocked a lot of stuff, but I don't actually mind. You know, I still have to get my high tier jets and whatnot, but I don't actually mind that grind, that research. I'm actually relatively okay with it. But I know for some people that's a big issue, and so fair enough. Feel free to include that in your wish list, I guess. But anyway, guys, I guess we'll pretty much end it there. So thank you for listening. Feel free to leave a comment, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.